Welcome to Emerge and Empower Podcast TV, a platform where resilience meets transformation. Here, we amplify voices that have faced trials, trauma, and adversity, stories that inspire hope, healing, and empowerment. Every episode brings raw, unfiltered conversations with individuals who have risen from hardship, embracing faith, strength, and purpose. Join us as we break the silence, uplift one another, and emerge stronger together. New episodes air Wednesdays at 6 p.m. English and Saturdays at 6 p.m. with select Saturdays in Creole for our Haitian audience.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Emerge and Empower. As you know, we are here usually weekly on Wednesdays, but this is a special event. It is the Shemergence Virtual Conference. All right, you've heard a lot about it. You've seen a lot of ads. You've seen a lot of flyers. And do we have a lot of people that have called us in and said, yes, I would like to be a part of this platform. So on today, we are going to dive in. This is our first Tuesday. Yes, our first Tuesday in this series, as we'll have different individuals that will be coming on. And we're just going to be in the room, okay? We're going to be comfortable and we're here to talk, to share our experiences. And yes, you still have an opportunity to fill in one of those empty seats in each of these rooms and just come on in and share your story. How you can do that? Just reach out to shemergenceinfo@gmail.com. shemergenceinfo@gmail.com, and we'll be able to chat with you and just bring you on in. Now, if you were a previous guest, you already know what to do. All right. You already know what to do. Come on in, because there's exciting news leading up to all of these Tuesdays that are leading into September. Big news, right? That's coming up. So I want to start off with you, Shemergence, right? Many of you might have not seen it, but Shemergence basically is the story, my story of my emergence. And the very first book that I wrote was called Shemergence, I Am She. That it's a memoir of my childhood that took everyone through my childhood experiences. And wow, what a tremendous feedback. I've had men and women that has reached out and actually had moments to console many, okay, while they have read this book and said, you know what, I finally feel like I can talk about it. And I would like for you to be that person that I can share it with, okay? So not only that, I am about to launch my ninth book in 5 years. The first book came out in 2020, and it was like more. And people was like, what's part two? What's part three? All right. So this one might not be what everyone would expect, but it still would have everyone gasping and wanting more. And here is our logo. There it is. This is the Shemergence logo, and you will see that on all of the books and all the things that are happening. And so you can also get yourself one of these t-shirts. All right, we have it in the white. We have it also in the black. Yay! All right. Shemergence still, it's just like the Weewa. You're used to the Weewa logo where it's the face of two women in the butterfly. But in this case now, it is the woman in the center of the butterfly. And so this is the journey of it all. And this is the mentorship for those who've gone through traumatic experience. And I coach you with our mentorship book as a mentorship guide, and you'll be able to connect on anytime, right? So just reach out to shemergenceinfo@gmail.com. Again, shemergenceinfo@gmail.com. So what we're doing on today, we're going to dive right in and bring in our ladies, bring in our guests, and we'll come right back to our group at this time. So let's just take you to a short break. Get ready. Are you ready? Let's go. The journey started basically from I was 3 years old. When my mom, that's the age that I knew or had understanding of my surroundings and what was going on, and my mom therefore don't know what you don't have until you realize what is in front of you isn't yours. And we were treated literally like stepchildren, you understand? But I thank God for the book and the journey. If you haven't read book one, you have to read book one. Book two to make sense because it's a flow and it's a sequence, and there will be a book three thereafter. I was trying to summarize it all and put it in the second book, but it didn't make sense. The book that's called The Ship basically talks about once I now got married, have a life, what I still went through. Alright? It was not a Cinderella story, it was not a Prince Charming story. It was a cycle that kept going, and I had to wake up from it. So I live to tell the story because I couldn't be like the women that are on the side of the road. You see people that are out there prostituting or doing whatever, you don't know their story. No little girl got up and just said, okay, I want to be a prostitute. I want to just be on the street. I want to sell drugs. Nobody wakes up one day to do anything. It is the experiences that people have that causes certain things to end up happening. So as a Christian, first of all, you must be forgiving to people. So something happened. Sometimes I'm watching a lot of African movie. The young lady, that was her only way to be able to help her family. That was the route that she could take. Alright? So these journeys are hard. I was suicidal until I was 28 years old. And that's when I forgive myself. Everybody here, you have to want to live. If you are sick, you have to want to be well. So that's basically the journey. I'm growing. Now I turn my feet into purpose. I created a new platform. Come in, get together, an excuse to go to brunch, an excuse to do lunch, an excuse to do dinner. That's my journey. So I thank each and every one of you for believing, for coming out here, to be here. I'm part of this community. So I thank you too because everybody responded to my promotion for the ebook that made us bestseller on Amazon. My book was next to TJ's book. So even if it was momentarily, I made it there. Amen. Even if it was for a moment, I made it there. And God can and will continue to do the rest. He did it. Amen? Amen. We did it. And welcome, 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 welcome. Let's welcome our beautiful audience and our beautiful women that are here today for this interview segment as we are running through the Shemergence Virtual Conference. Welcome, Pamela, welcome, Brenda, and welcome, Mamina. Ladies, let's say hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, hey, hey. So we're excited here on today, and this is a space for real conversations as we dive in today and real voices that have often been silent, but we are breaking the silence together. Are you guys excited?
Yes, very much so.
All right, I get so animated when it's about helping each other. I get animated about helping people, wanting people to get on the front row seat of their life. I get just animated about it. So we're going to come right in. And before we go further, ladies, I would like each one of you to introduce yourself, tell people who you are, whatever it is you'd like to intro, also where you're located as well, so they know that we are definitely, you know what, reaching. Okay, so we're going to start here with Pamela.
Hello, I'm Pamela Hawkins from Gainesville, Florida. I lead a nonprofit there, Grace to Overcome, where we advocate well-being, holistic health prevention, and advancing youth wellness. The CEO and Chief Research Officer, uh, just vested in our mission rooted in hope, helping others pursue excellence in wellness and overcoming.
Wow, wow. Welcome, welcome, Pamela. Welcome, welcome to Shemergence Virtual Conference. We're going to go right over to Mamina.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank Dr. Linda for organizing this, and I'm so happy to be here with all of
Yay!
you. Yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm Mamina Das. I live in Harrisburg, North Carolina, and I work with autism. I just want to say autism because nowadays they are just saying autism so that we don't disrespect anybody, so that we don't start accepting it as a disorder, but it is just
Right.
a condition. And we are trying to accept more and more, and making it more playful and help them, So I learned working with autistic children that we don't compete. We don't compete with others. We just focus on our interest area and we learn. That's it. It's as simple as that. And I love them. I love to be with them. I love working with them. I live my childhood with them. I play with them.
Love
And
it.
they have taught me to love better. And I am
Yes.
committed to love them better.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Listen,
much.
that's why I say everyone on here have turned their pain into purpose and their life and testimonies and the lives that you ladies have touched. Let's go over to Brenda. Brenda, of course, is not a stranger to Emerge and Empower. So, Brenda, welcome to the Shemergence Virtual Conference.
Hi, thank you so much for hosting us all, Linda.
Yay!
Thank you. I love being here. I love being a part of your community. I'm just so grateful. I work with really intuitive, empathic, compassionate people who have chosen a career centering other people. And I help them feel safer to take care of themselves. So I work with a lot of doctors, educators, nurses, therapists, nonprofits, helping them to manage their empathy. Because if we have unmanaged empathy, a lot of times we can end up people pleasing.
Right.
And that people pleasing is so exhausting, especially if you are sensitive and intuitive and empathic. So
Mhm.
I that's the work that I do. I'm almost entirely remote, but I'm based in Portland, Oregon.
Okay, Oregon. So again, ladies, welcome. You saw the ad and you said yes to be able to come on this platform so that we could just dive in. Now, the whole meaning for me when it comes into the Shemergence experience, as I said in the beginning, it started with my own emergence. I knew for sure that I had a story to tell, but it was not a story that was for the public. Initially, it was just a story like a memoir to leave with my children when I was, dead and gone, here is what I went through, yada, 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 and left that for them. But what I also realize, and if you deal with children, you realize you have to be upfront and open. Don't say, hey, don't do this and not tell them why not to do it. So I have always taught them, as they go through the process in their lives. And I understand the stages too that they go through so they can go through it. People talk about terrible twos. I didn't have terrible twos. I had creative children at 2 years old that were learning and exploring. And I would explore with them, just like Mamina said, because now, you open up for them to be able to learn. So, but for me, I don't know life without trauma, right? From a little girl, my father left when I was like a year old, like a year and a half old. So my mom had to raise, and believe it or not, in 3 years, she had 3 children. Okay. So me and my sister are 11 months apart. Okay. And then my brother comes right after. So in 3 years, she had 3 children. So can you imagine a single mother with all these children underage? And so she went through a lot in order to take care of us. In so doing, it opened up doors when a father figure isn't in your life. A lot of harm, a lot of things happened. Whereas even if he was not living in the house, his presence and people knowing that he was around would have been a shelter, a protection. I was watching something on YouTube where a guy who was a predator, and he said how he preyed on these children. He looked to see if they had father, if they had parents that cared for them. So basically, I was statistically someone that they found that there was no covering and nobody, they don't matter. So all of these things happened. And I was like, wow, when I look at that, I said I was left uncovered. All right, unprotected, and a lot of things happened. But in the journey of healing, what I find is healing is not overnight. And we go through a lot as we heal. We go through rejection. First of all, harder on ourselves, low self esteem. Can you imagine me that's all glam and doll up having low self esteem? I was low self esteem for almost ever in my life. And, but thankfully, what I find with healing is healing opens you up for joy. You want to be happy. You want to smile. You no longer live in gloom. I would find the darkest, most boringest things to wear. I wouldn't really care to do my hair because for me, the more I did things, I was drawing attention that I didn't want. Right. So I was like, I'm not going to bring any, unwanted attention, whether it was in the way I look. So a lot of people, you might see them today, they look a certain way, and you might wonder, well, you work, you got a job, why you looking this way? Why? Because whatever it is that we take as a defense mechanism or a wall that we build, we are building these based on these experiences that we have had in our lives or the environment that you live in. So I realized I was also a product of my environment. Okay, all of that was happening, socially as well. Even though back then it was in the 80s, early 80s, no one talked about these things. If it happened, you didn't know about it, you didn't hear about it. It was always hush hush under the table. No one wanted to say, so and so did this. And when we find out early 70s, 80s, there was a lot of people that were losing their lives and nobody knew. They say serial killer, this, that, and what was happening. People were being traumatized. It was the neighbor next door. It was somebody in the church. It was somebody in your home, uncle, father. You understand? All of these, you had predators everywhere and you couldn't talk about it. And a lot of people have lost their lives as a result. So now we have a platform where we can have conversations, right? And be real and really talk about this. Someone might say to someone, well, why did it take so long for you to want to come and tell your story? All right. It takes time. Some people are not ready. The shaming, you name it, the experiences that people go through as to why they don't want to talk. In my case, by 8 years old, I did tell. But guess what? The situation did not change. Instead, I ended up leaving the environment. I left home to go be with my aunt, okay, while, everybody stayed back with this predator. So it was like now, thereafter, everything that happened after that was like, why tell? Nothing was done. You understand? So in that, the low self-esteem came in. I started feeling that I was not worthy. And this is what this book 3 is about. It's called Unholy at the Table. I felt that I was not worthy to sit, to move, to have friends. I don't know if anybody's been there. I didn't feel like I fit in. I felt like I was in the wrong family. You name it. I went through all of this, right? But for me, as I take people to this particular journey, this journey is in relation to my experience as the child, right? Already low self esteem, already feeling abandoned, not loved. And then I go into a church environment because I'm expecting love. That's a place where people talk about Jesus and the love, and there's supposed to be a better atmosphere, right? Well, later on, I discovered the person that I saw as a father figure since my dad wasn't in my life, then he himself, was someone that took advantage of children. I wasn't privy to that at the time, but I remember wanting to get baptized. And I've been teaching Sunday school, assisting the little kids, right? That's why I could connect with you, Mamina, about the children. I love teaching, and that was my place and my comfort. So I was always pouring into kids. I'm 7 and I'm teaching 9, 10, 12. Right. And it continues this way. So I'm 11. They're talking about baptism and I want to get baptized. And the pastor said, nope, you're too young. 12, I asked again. Nope, you're too young. 13, every year I asked for baptism and it didn't happen. So at 15, I go back and say, well, I'm 15 now. I'm in high school. Then I guess I should be ready for baptism. Well, that moment that I went into the pastor's office was when now I experienced firsthand who he truly was. Okay. And ran out of his office and said, you know what, forget it. I'm not asking about this church thing. I know God is real, but these people are fake. It didn't push me away from God, but it made me wary of, let's say, those who say they're in authority, because everyone that's supposed to love me hurt me. Everyone that said they cared really didn't. So I start putting up this wall, like I'm not letting anybody in. Nope. I got to shelter that. And so that's where my unworthiness started to feel, because I was told too many times, you're nothing, you'll never be anything, you'll never amount to anything. That same pastor, when I met my husband, we were still talking, literally told me, because my husband was driving the church bus at the time and I sat in the front row. There was a lady who wanted the front seat. She ran in and complained to him and said, "Oh, Linda's in the front seat." He came out in the front of the church bus filled with about 18 people and said, "Get down. Who told you that you were worthy or deserving?" Can you imagine? Okay. And at this time, I'm like 16 years old. All right. And he said to me, "You will never have anything in your life. You will never even own a bicycle. To think that you have right to sit in somebody's car." Can you imagine? I'm in the front of everyone. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst of the worst." Okay. And so from that point on, that environment I just felt like I was not safe. I came in because of the children, taught Sunday school. When Sunday school was over, I sat in the far back of the church, couldn't wait for church to be over. There were times that I didn't even come in and I would call someone to take over. So these are the different aspects of it. So I went through life feeling unworthy. I went through life until I was 28 years old, suicidal. And the only reason why I didn't harm myself, because I kept hearing one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill, right? And I loved God enough that I didn't want to suffer more in my afterlife, right? So that stayed with me. And I said, okay, but it's got to get better than this. So coming into 18, I never saw myself being my age, because the way the trajectory of my life was going, I did not feel like I would live past 18. In truth, I never saw my life past 18. So that's the last age. It was like, if I get to 18, at least now I'm grown, I can start doing my own thing. I can now leave, stop coming to the church, choose where I want to go, because now 18 says you're an adult. So I can make certain decisions and not feel forced to do something. Right. And now look at my life today. Right. And we always sow in tears, but we got to reap in joy. Today I'm happy. But even though I got married, had children, I still wasn't happy, because I never addressed that little girl. I never addressed her pains. I never addressed everything that she was going through. And I had a muzzle on everything. I didn't share anything. I went through so much. To the point, I tell you, I was 6 years old and raped and left for dead, right? That was never shared with anybody. I couldn't, because my environment did not make me feel safe, protected, or loved. So it wasn't until I wrote my book in 2020, right in the midst of COVID, all right, that a lot of people, even those who were supposed to be counselors, reached out and were apologizing. "I should have seen the signs. You were always withdrawn," da, 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 all of these things. So later on, they come to me with it, you know. But for me, I'm glad that it finally happened. But it took a journey. It wasn't until I was 35 now. I thought I was done. I ignored it enough. So it's done. 35, I'm triggered. Back to that little girl. One day, my husband reached for me in it's probably 2 a.m. And I went to that little girl. I started crying. I started shaking. I couldn't believe I was here. Like, I have kids now. I have a life. Like, why am I here? But still, all this time, never feeling worthy. Even though I was a wife, still didn't feel worthy, because I married a narcissist, of course. So I never felt like, oh, well, who do you think you are? I made you. All of this. I went through all of this continually in my life. So at 35, I'm triggered. And now I have to deal with her. But dealing with her now means I have to stop being the yes woman. I have to stop being the yes woman. I have to stop, like, whatever I say. "Why are you wearing that dress?" I had to take the dress off because he didn't like it. "Why did you fix your hair that way? Who told you?" All of these things I had to, like, hold on. So when I look back at those first 18 years of marriage, I saw like I was in a zombified state. Like whatever was told, I was robot. Okay. Always apologizing, always saying I'm sorry for things that I didn't do because I kept saying, I'm not deserving. I'm not worthy. So I'm taking this also into church. I'm taking this also into ministry. I'm not deserving. I'm not worthy. So I'm taking this even to the communion table, even though I know God says, come unto him. The table is set, but I'm still feeling I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. Okay. And that is why we are here today. Because in this platform, we are going to dive right in to those moments that you two went through an experience like this. All right. So we're going to go and start right off. I'll give you all a moment because I know I said a lot. So let's take a moment to breathe. Let us have a cup of coffee. We'll come right back. Let's go to a cup of coffee because listen to me. Yeah, that deserves coffee, and we'll come back for conversation.
Remember when coffee was just coffee? A routine sip, part of the 2 billion cups consumed daily, enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool every 3 minutes. Same old flavor, same old routine. For centuries, 75% of coffee drinkers have settled for mediocrity, masking the taste with sugar, syrups, and overpriced add-ons. But what if coffee didn't just promise to be amazing? What if it actually was? Introducing Alive Coffee, the first coffee that tastes as good as it makes you feel. Meet the coffee that thinks beyond the cup. Bold, smooth, alive. Made from expertly roasted top-quality beans, Alive Coffee is smooth, rich, and shockingly delicious. Stop drinking May, start drinking Alive. The coffee that delivers just like the 90% who won't start their day without it. Alive Coffee. Wake up, take over. Feel alive. Feel alive.
All right. So we just had some coffee. All right. We just have some coffee and now we're feeling alive. You want to find out more about that? Just hit me up because indeed it's a great coffee, all natural product. All right. So we're going to dive right in. All right. I'm going to start with Mamina here. And the question goes, have you ever felt unworthy of healing?
So thank you very much for sharing actually, and I was actually listening, and I would like to congratulate you for wherever you are today, and I'm very happy to listen to your story, that you are able to come out of that environment and let people know that you can really build yourself up, you know.
Yes.
You
Thank you.
you can emerge. Let me tell that you can emerge.
You can
And she
emerge.
said you can
Indeed.
emerge, and you have made it possible. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
And I was not expecting. I was like, so.
I know. That's why I said let's go to coffee break so everybody could
Yeah.
just come down.
Yeah.
Because I took y'all too many emotions here. So we're gonna go right in. Like I
Yeah.
said, because we've gone into this place. I don't think there's anyone watching me on today that too has not even gone through such a feeling
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
feeling unworthy
Yeah.
of love, unworthy of healing. So
Yeah.
take us to a moment, possibly that you were in such a space.
Yes, definitely. I mean, there are moments like so many moments, but I will start from my childhood because in childhood I never knew something as healing. I never knew that. I only knew that if I am able to get good sleep, I can eat my food, I can breathe easy, I can play with my friends, I can be joyful. That's it. That was the definition of childhood for me when I grew up. And then when as we grew up, we started to get into this whole system of education, getting good grades, getting to good school, college, and facing so many different teachers, so many different teachers. And they are really impactful in your life, how they see you, how they perceive you, because your parents are always supporting you or not supporting you, but your teacher, they see a different perspective of you. So sometimes they can totally turn your life around in a positive way and in a negative way also. So I had one teacher. I want to say that I want to also thank her, because if I was not triggered, I wouldn't have reacted. I wouldn't have had my meltdown, breakdown, anger, coming home yelling and saying stuff. And then she told me that she wanted an answer the way she explained to us, And I did not write the same that she expected. And I got less marks. And then when I took the notebook home, my parents signed, and then my father asked, "What's the matter? Why did you get this much less in your subject?" I said, I'm not very happy with that teacher, because she told me she wants me to write what she is expecting. How do I know what is in her mind? How is it possible? She has given me an idea, and something came to me, so I wrote what I was thinking, and I will never change my words. Never change my words. Even though I am getting this mark in my subject, I am happy. You tell me, should I be writing what she wants, or should I just stick to what I want, what I understood? My father was like, "No, that's fine, but don't be disrespectful." So I'm like, okay. Then the second term, I wrote my words. Same teacher. She gave 24 out of 25. 6 months, within 6 months, she completely knew that I'm not going to write a single word that she is saying. So that's how I started being myself, and I also understood that she doesn't like me, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, because I'm happy what I'm writing. And this idea that everybody has to like you was unfolded very early in my life, and I started to be comfortable with that. I used to go home and share everything, and I used to say that I'm okay if she doesn't like me or they don't like me. So I had a different childhood. That's what I'm trying to say. And it has stayed with me until now. That one thing. And I think that is really big, because nowadays children, I work with autistic children, and I totally feel it when there is indifference. They are like putting them aside, or they are like, that kid is delayed, he will take some more time lining up, maybe he is needing more attention while transitioning. Well, I'm there for that. I understand your pressure as a teacher. You have 21 children in the classroom, and you are understaffed always. So I am there for the child. Just that don't accept him the way you are thinking of him. You can just put a smile and say, okay, he can take 5 more minutes. That's it. That is it. The world is not going to crash.
Right.
That's not the end of the world. So that realization helps me be more human, more than gender, color, race, sex, whatever. That just makes me so human every day. I mean, I'm so grateful for whatever has happened with me. I cannot go back and fix my past, but I can cry. Yes, I can cry. I can journal. I can share with my friends. I can share with anybody who wants to listen to me.
Yes.
And I am really happy that I was redirected with God's blessing to work with these children. And I'm really happy. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you so much, Mamina, for sharing that from a child's perspective of going through what you went through as a child. And thankfully, your parents too understood what you were going through as a child. So at least you had support at home instead of it being the other way around. So now we are going to go to Pam.
Well, when I think back, thank you, Dr. Linda, one for this opportunity and in sharing your story. And actually, as I was listening to you and Mamina, it's part of why I found it great to overcome. When I think of the lasting negative effects of adversity, but rooted in childhood, and how it's not so much what's happening to us, what's happening biologically inside us when things happen or don't happen, and especially if we aren't aware of it.
Right.
So when I think back of felt unworthy of healing, I have to go back to childhood myself when I think of always being uplifting, a positive child, I'm an athlete, always
Mm-hmm.
running all over the place, and a friend to others. I made friends easy um, and always cared for people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, my brother used to say, because I was very small, and they actually called me nickname Bones. And if I saw someone being picked on, I would go up and say, pick on someone your own size, and my brother would say, whose size are you? So, but it was rooted in I remember since my youth when I lived up north and when we moved to the south, um, it I was there was some feelings of I'm not it was difficult in the sense of people would say things like, I guess the way I spoke, white girl, and obviously I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to think, what is that about? Um, or and sometimes feeling less than, like I wasn't valued as the person who I was created to be,
Mm-hmm.
from my own race, and um, but I always continue to be positive, but I didn't realize that there were some things that lay dormant in that, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
being put in this little box, rather race wise, or you can do this. I was an athlete. I was really good in track and field, and I always loved like nutrition and wellness. Even as a child, I was always uh, you know focused on this, food and nutrition, and wanting to be healthy. And when we moved south, I used to think, wow, goodness, Florida must be the poster child for deep fried and breaded.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was there was such a, my when we grew up, my mom, we were cream of wheat uh, people, and I remember I used to hear this term with food wise, fat back. I thought, what in the world is that? And I remember one time when I said, excuse me, I must have been 15. I said, what is that? And I thought, why would someone want to ruin a perfectly pot of vegetables with that? But and I wanted to just share a variety of different ways to um, cook and aid the body. But I felt like I wasn't uh, fully known in different areas. Uh, just who was Pam? Who am I other than, besides the athlete? Who was I? Um, that really besides this athlete. So as I grew up and got older, um, I was always purposeful in, you know, just looking at other people for themselves and looking at the best in them and wanting people to know who you are makes a difference. And I see in you value because if nothing else, we all are valuable. We all have value. And then to the point of those are two initiatives that vested in I love our youth of the day. And what we think and believe about ourselves matter. And it's critical for our youth in their self development and their growth, that they realize I see in you value. And what does that mean? And who you are makes a difference. Your presence is more valuable than you know. Um, it, and so over the years where I, you know, where I felt I wasn't encouraged, except through God and His grace and His loving on me, that I was on purpose going to make a point of encouraging others every day in everything I do, to be an encourager.
That's it.
To this day, if I'm in a store or Walmart and there's a precious jewel, that's what I call children, and they pass by, especially if they're with an adult, I'm gonna say, "Can I tell them something?"
Right.
And I'm gonna say, and I want you to believe it. I see in you value. And it stands for intentional, consistent, nice, and unique. Because they are. And
Mm-hmm.
I asked them. I have these wristbands that I carry around, and I said, I want you to read this out loud so your own ears can hear it. And it says, "Who you are makes a difference," because it does. And I didn't realize that being felt less than a lot and put in this box actually traveled into my adulthood. Um but God's grace through and through it actually, through different illnesses and challenges, how all those pieces fit together to create this beautiful puzzle, though, that God designed in his plan and purpose for me to aid in helping others through healing and restoration and finding their way back to wholeness, to help children be strong, safe, and equipped and for the long haul over the lifespan. So when I say, actually, I think back, I felt unworthy at times, but through God's revelation and grace, you know, I understand. Okay, if that was allowed to happen in me, to be able to encourage a multitude of other precious jewels to
Mm-hmm.
not go through, or even equip others, from teachers and parents, that what we think and believe about ourselves is critical, and for our children, it's vital for them
All
over the
right.
lifespan.
All right. Thank you so much. So again, it's an experience in your childhood where you felt unworthy. And now today you want to pour that, whether you know the person or not. You want to say that I see value in you because there was that time in your life where you did not feel worthy. And that's why we continue to say most people who are working into that God given purpose driven life, it came from a place of trauma. It came from a place of pain. And you've seen it where a lot of people walk away from corporate world making, six-figure incomes, but choose a life where they can pour into someone because it's more fulfilling for them, right? So now we're going to go over to Brenda. Okay, so we'll repeat the question again so that way we don't forget what the question is. Have you ever felt unworthy of healing?
Oh, my answer is absolutely. So your story and my story are unique, but there's some parallel moments.
Hmm.
And so I had some childhood abuse that I disclosed and no one believed me.
Hmm.
And so I internalized that to think, oh, it's because I'm not worthy of helping.
Hmm.
Like this other person is worth more. And so that was definitely present in my mind all the
Hmm.
way through childhood, guided me into a marriage where I still got to hang on to that idea of unworthiness. And another interesting parallel is I was 35 when I decided that I had had enough of that. And
Wow.
so, like the other ladies have shared, my mission is directly connected to that because I feel like a big part of the reason that I work with empaths and intuitives and highly compassionate people is because I know that I was caretaking on some level of
Hmm.
the other adults because I could feel their pain. And I put that ahead of my own needs, even as a young child. And so I think that when it comes to feeling worthiness, obviously it's an inside job, but there are external influences, right?
Right. Right.
There are different things that can impact us that might make us think, because this happened, maybe I'm not worthy, because they didn't listen to me, maybe I'm not worthy. And so part of worthiness in my journey has been choosing to believe, what if I am worthy?
Right.
And that's where it started. It was like, well, what if I really am worthy?
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon
Mm-hmm.
as I asked that question, things began to appear that mirrored that back so that I could feel myself in someone else and then use their belief in my worthiness to bolster my own belief in my own worthiness.
Wow. Like I said, it takes a lot. And whenever you think about self worth, it starts off from in childhood. You can go back to someone bullying you at school, something that they said, being teased, right? There are people who can still remember what someone did to you in first grade or second grade, right? Because it was such a traumatic experience, right? And you carry that because you said in your mind, like, well, I'm nothing. I'm ugly, right? That's one of the biggest words, ugly. All right. And we go through life and we keep altering. We live in a dispensation now where everyone is trying to alter, edit what God has created in their lives because they don't feel beautiful enough, right? Enhancing, changing. We have identity crisis, and it still stems off with that experience as a child, something that was said or did to you that now you're still living out, into your adulthood. So I'm giving everybody the chance and opportunity today to go back, release, forgive that young person, forgive your young self, and forgive the person who said or did to you, because only then you can truly get on the front row seat of your life. Only then you can truly start enjoying your life, right? There are parents, aunties, uncles who have never spoken positively into your life. It's not just children, adults, all right, who have spoken negatively in your life, and you haven't forgotten what they said to you. And it was 20 years ago, it was 30 years ago, however old you are, but you still remember it because it made you feel unworthy, right? And you felt like, I'm nobody, I can't amount to anything. So we're gonna just pause right here because we have Dee here as a new guest here on today. So, Dee, we want to welcome you here to the Shemergence Virtual Conference as we are talking about unworthiness and when you didn't feel there was any worth to your life. But before we go to you with this question, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience and let everyone know a little bit about you.
Okay, hi ladies, welcome. Thank you for welcoming me here. I'm so happy to be
Hi.
here. Hi. I'm Dee. I'm a chef. I have my own catering company. Um, I've been doing this for a long time. I fell in love with cooking. That's where I felt like I'm stable. I like when I'm feeding people, I see people eating my food and I feel alive, I feel safe, and it makes me feel complete. So I choose to cook because of that. I'm a mother. I have 3 kids and I run my own business.
Wow, wow. So that's commendable. We've been friends on social media. She is a spiritual sister, all right, for a while. We share the same birthday as well.
Yes, we birthdays.
And that's how we connected on social
Yes.
media.
Yeah.
So again, what we see on social media doesn't tell our life. Those are usually just little glimpses of our life. Someone could judge you based on just what you post on social media and they have no idea who you are. So on today, as we're still in the first question, it talks about, at the moment that you feel unworthy of healing. Can you take us to an experience where you was made to feel you are not worthy?
Um, it's actually is in my adult life after I got married, and there's things that I never experienced that is start coming to me, and words people used to say to me when I was a
Okay.
young kid, especially in the other side of my family. They always said, "Oh, you're gonna have kids for so many father. You're not this," because they didn't like my mom. They used to talk
Wow.
really badly about me. They used to call me crazy. a lot of kind names they used to, but I never let those words really get to me when I was a kid. But now, when
Mm-hmm.
I get older as a mother, and they started getting to me, even on my business, if I start something and I feel like nobody ever come and support, and I feel like I just let go, and I feel like, okay, everything I'm doing, everything, but nobody really like support me. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
sees me. What is it
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing wrong? Is it like, and I'm starting to question myself. Is it because my own father, like the problem I have with him and all those things, and it's just clicked, and I was like, am I doing something wrong? And I'll go back and praying and ask God, show me what I'm doing wrong. I need to fix it, because even though I'm on social media, I'm posting, I'm not happy.
Right.
And people be like, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, but you don't know what I'm going through on the back
Right.
of this, because I
Right.
don't want people to see. Nobody wants
Exactly.
people to see the real you.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody don't want to see by people that wants to they will you. You just want them to see, okay, this for happy person, but nobody know what you're facing in life. And I've been going through a lot, question myself, okay, am I worth all I'm doing? And
Right.
I'm doing all this, and I feel like I'm not competing with nobody, but I feel like everybody try to push me in a corner. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
believe on what I was doing. And there's one person that really boosts me up, believe in me, and I lost him. And I was like, okay, I don't have nowhere to go. I don't know what to do.
That's
And
trauma in itself. That part is trauma. Grief is also trauma in itself.
yes, and I've been dealing with that trauma. I've been dealing with it, and it's not it. The whole month of July is the month that the person passed, and I've been dealing
I'm
with it.
sorry. We're sorry about that.
Thank you. And nobody really understand what's going on. And he was like, why are they acting like, sometimes somebody might post something. It's not, they just need somebody to reach out and say, what's going on? Are you okay? Is everything okay?
Mhm.
So I've been going through that, and I just feel like no matter what I do, I never get a better result. And I'm like, okay, I pause myself for a while now, and I don't post on social media. I just stay on my own to find out what's going on. I have to go inside of me to find
Mhm.
out is
Mhm.
something wrong. And I'll go to my kids and I talk to them. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I try everything, and I'm not getting any result. Everybody said my this is good, my product is good. It's just like for a moment. After the moment, nobody sees me. What
Right.
is it
Right.
that I'm doing wrong? And I start questioning myself, and I say, oh, maybe that's the reason my marriage failed. That's the reason this failing is
Right. You
because
start
I'm
doing
not.
that. We do. We do.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe that's the reason everything I'm touching, and I'm still not even still now try to figure out. Okay, I want to be better. I want to be a better mom. And my kids like, you're a great mom, and I don't see that. And everybody said I'm good, but it's just like I can't really see it who I really am. So that's what I'm dealing with, and it's not even. I feel like everything when I was a kid, I didn't deal with them. Now they come and hunt me. I'm like,
Oh
now I'm
well.
older.
Those are called triggers, right? So that
Mhm.
means there's a lot that you still need to unpack. You need to visit that young self that is you, right? So your journey, and you got to go backwards to move forward. Let's put it that way. So you
Yeah.
got to go back and address those areas. Now, you are a beautiful woman. You are a successful woman. If you're comparing your success to someone else, then you would always fall short. If you're
Mhm.
comparing what you're doing to someone else, you'll always fall short, because you're always going to think the grass is greener on the other side, but no, it isn't. It's because somebody's working that 24/7.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's what you do, and build your own niche, build your own. Sometimes you just need to come out of your norm, your circle. Okay. Your circle could be another thing that is keeping you caged. All
Yeah.
right. So you got to reach beyond that. Like, for example, all the women here on today, none of us know each other. We moved outside of our circle. And because we've done this reach, and because I've done this reach, you're local, right? I don't
Yeah.
have local people that are on my podcast. I'm reaching out. All
Mhm.
right. Like Mamina. Where are you, Mamina? As a reminder.
North Carolina.
She's in North Carolina. Brenda, where are you?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
See what I'm saying? And then we
Yes.
have Pam. Pam, well, she's in Florida, but she's not in this immediate area. Pam, where are you?
Gainesville,
This is
Florida.
what I'm. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. If you're focused on what's right here in your area, then you are going to be choked in that, because there's, especially when there's so many people doing the same thing, you have to have your stamp and your confidence. But confidence don't come if you're not healed. I can tell you that straight. You have to heal. You have to address you and deal with that. You keep mentioning stuff a childhood father. Let me tell you this thing. God is a father that has always have grace and love. All right. And he doesn't hold anything against you when you come to him. So if there's any unresolved issues, just deal with it. Face it and move on. It's time to not hold on baggage. Because as you were talking, I saw bags upon bags of upon bags. And so there's a lot that you need to release. All right. And so that way, because you have done work that is worthy. I've seen your work. I've seen what you've posted online. All right. And I remember a couple years back, I think it was during COVID actually, when you were doing plates, and I went to your house, because I wanted to encourage what you were doing. And the food was great. So you're doing everything. So be happy to know you're doing everything and just move. That's what it is. So you're still feeling unworthy, but we're telling you today you are worthy.
Thank you.
All right. You are worthy. All right. Your children are saying back to you, Mom, you are a great mom. You're measuring, you're being hard on yourself. And the first thing you need to do is heal. You have to allow yourself time to heal. Ladies, anybody want to chime in for D?
I just want to celebrate you being so vulnerable and sharing your
Come on.
experience, Dee. I mean,
Yes.
that took a lot of courage.
Come
Yes.
on.
Dee, thank you, for being so transparent. And that's a lot hard to be that transparent and let everybody know where you're really at. But
Mhm.
God sees you, and as one chef to another, keep it. Yeah, the fondest memories are in the kitchen, and showing love to others. So just keep doing what you're doing, and know that you are seen, and you are valued.
Thank you.
That's it.
So,
That's it.
yeah, I just want to thank you, Dee, for sharing, for being yourself in that moment of sharing,
Hmm.
and be more of yourself. You can feel
Mm,
everything.
Yeah.
mm. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
We can get upset, we can cry,
Yeah,
but just get
yeah.
over it, get to.
Yes,
If there are
yes,
days you
yes.
don't feel like getting out of bed, you think as I
Yeah,
stand here and I'm all bubbly, there are times where I said, you know what, I'm not getting out of my bed today. I just
yeah.
want to be by myself, and I just stay there. That choose it. Choose how you want your day to play out. Choose it.
mhm.
Today I'm gonna be colorful. Today I'm wearing yellow. Hello. What's your favorite color? We gotta
That,
start with that. What's
that's
your
my
favorite
favorite
color?
color. That's
Oh
my
my
favorite color,
God.
yellow.
Oh,
Okay. Because as I was talking about color, I saw yellow, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
mm-mm.
wear that. What I realized, when we're
yes.
not healed, we go for gloom, dark. We dark. We go in. We only shine a little bit. That's why I said when you see somebody post something on social media, that was probably that only time that month that they had some type of ray of hope or some smile and said, "Let me capture this for people to see." But after that, behind the scenes, you're crying. You're doing this. Psalms 3 talks about crying in the pillow, wetting the. We all go through these moments. All right. So we're gonna go to the next question. The next question is, what difference did healing make in your life? Now, for those who've gone through healing, once you've healed, what difference did healing bring in your life? Anyone can pick that up.
Oh, freedom, freedom. When realizing that you know it doesn't matter what others think, but what how God has created you and with talents and gifts, um, and freedom to really walk in uh, what He's called me to do. Because there was still some of that noise and the lies in the back, thinking, "Oh Lord, really? You called me to do this work?" With not without a doubt, He has called me to do some um, things truly to aid and help others that are groundbreaking, that are not that awareness is a powerful tool that what others
Hmm.
aren't aware of. So, but I did have those moments as I was hesitant on stepping out and doing and saying what he called me to do. I
Mm-hmm.
had um, those moments of that, whoa, healing and restoration for myself first, being fully known where I first I thought I wasn't. So, so definitely the difference in knowing that you are healed, whole, and valued, and now it's just time to execute and walk out what God called me to do, to help
Mm-hmm.
others, to be a bridge, helping others get across to where they want to be in wholeness, health.
All right. Thank you so much, Pam. Anyone else? Let's go back to that. What difference did healing make?
I feel like freedom is a great word. And there's so much peace and joy on the other side of freedom.
Yes.
And I also feel like it's a choice, right? And for my experience, and I would love to know what your experiences are, healing is not a box to be checked. Like
No.
there's always something new that can be healed. And
Yes.
so it builds momentum in my experience. One healing leads to another healing, leads to another
Yes.
healing.
Mhm.
And I think approaching it for me as though it's something that I'm going to continue to do for my life has given me the courage to continue to do the work and releasing any shame about having to heal. Because
Yes.
that was part of my story as well. There was a little bit of shame I carried because I was like, oh, I'm ashamed because I need to heal. But the
Yeah.
truth is, we all need to heal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mamina?
Yeah, I just want to say that I was never exposed to this word healing later until my life when I was 35 or more.
Okay.
But now I can speak about that. Like the difference it made was to understand what I have gone through, to journal, to see the moment, to cry, to feel everything,
Mm-hmm.
to feel everything. And then
Mhm.
going back to my work, seeing the children smile and laugh, just laugh it out.
That's it. Laughter is a great medicine, believe it
Yeah.
or not. It's
Mhm.
so true. You know why I say that? Because there are people, and I'm sure if you look around, if you never thought about it, there's somebody do you know that you've never heard laugh out loud.
True.
Okay? So laughter is indeed a great medicine. To laugh wholeheartedly is
Mhm.
someone who's healed because I remember when I was going through moments, I smiled, like people would look at me, and I remember I did this a lot to the point I used to be saying, "Stop doing that." People just look at me, and it wasn't real. It wasn't real, but but it was never real. And I remember I'd be saying, "Take that grin off your face. That's fake. Like, come on." You understand? They just look at me, always, 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 but it wasn't real. And it wasn't no laughter. You notice it's just a grin. There's no sound. There's nothing coming from the inside. You understand? So, D, as we talk about healing, because you're still dealing with grief, you're still dealing with the loss of your
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
But
I'm still dealing with the loss of my cousin. I I think it was 2020 or 2019. He passed in a car accident, and I'm still trying to um deal with it. And I believe me, I went to therapy and everything. So it's just like the problem thing I have problem with letting go. So it's something that I have to work on. But now I used to say travel. Now I accepted that he's gone. He's not coming back.
that's good. That's healing right there.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did that, and also that I know that I use him I speak to him whenever I know that I was supposed to do something,
Hmm.
launch something, and I'm not doing it. And I was like, what would BG does? Will he?
That's
What he?
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and because of that, I'll start laughing, and any joke he used to say, anything like he always used to say a lot of jokes, and I was like, I start laughing, and I no, he will want me to do better. And I start working and I'll start writing everything that I need to
That's
do.
it. That's celebration. That's celebration. Indeed. That's celebration. Because that's what I was saying. You have to think of, like, even being here on this platform, he'll be like, I see you, girl. You understand
Mhm.
me? So these are things. So what you need to do is just get on the front row seat of your life. Stop being in the back seat. Stop blending into the wall. Just live. Okay? You've been existing. It's time to live, T. That's pretty much what it is.
Yes,
You've been
Pastor
I just
J.
wanted
existing.
to say, I just wanted, sorry to interrupt, I just wanted to
Go ahead.
share that I want to speak about my son. Actually, when I was feeling lost or feeling was in my low moments, when I used to see him smile, that used to bring smile, joy in my life and purpose and meaning, So I am sad, okay, I can cry, but why would I give him that? I can give him joy,
Yeah.
because he's smiling, right? So we both can smile, like
Right.
that has helped me a lot. Like I wanted to say that about my son. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Thank
That
you.
is great. That's great. So let's go over to the next. How did you overcome feeling unappreciated during your healing journey? What did you do? How did you overcome it? Take us through some of the things you did.
uh, I want to share. I felt like I was left alone because when I was getting into this state of mind, I was not being accepted 100%, like everybody will say, oh, it happens, it's life, we have to move on, and this and that. And also, I was away from my home country, so my friends were back in India. Time difference, their life getting busy, not calling them. If I'm feeling depressed or sad, I can't call them because they're sleeping, so they can't attend to me, and they have their own life too. So that in a way helped me to be independent, and manage myself better. Like, okay, what can I do? Maybe I can, when I'm praying, I'm just talking to my idol, like, can you help me? Can you guide me? Can you show me a direction? I'm feeling sad, and I want to really come out of it. I want to live my life. I have one life to live. Help me, redirect me. I have prayed, I have meditated, I have started journaling, and that has helped me to be who I am, rather than depending on people who are available and feeling upset, disappointed, and blaming other people. So that actually brought me to myself. Why can't I have one God who has given birth to me, right?
Right.
And I'm going to fight with him.
That's it. So you
You have
decide
to
to
help
live.
me. Come on.
Yes, that's it. You decide to fight for your life because
Yes.
if you don't, you're just gonna get pulled in. You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
all pulled into this wave. And this
Yeah.
quicksand that's just gonna come around you. So you gotta fight your way out. And for some, it's of course, it's getting busy. Journaling is great. Some people don't like to write, but journaling is another way of expressing and talking. About your day. It's a great one as well. Anybody else?
Yeah. Uh, well, I just wanted to. When I was thinking, when Mina was talking about just, and you were saying, Doctor, was just live. Uh, I had a visual of a vision board that I was putting together, and I believe God was saying, the Holy Spirit was saying, okay, there was a little cutout sticker that said the Nike, just do it, and then there was one that said live. Put it together. Just do it, live, because
That's
and
it.
I wasn't. I was, doing so much for other people, but I had forgotten me. And Dr. Linda, when you're talking about when I said healing, um, I said, well, Pam, you do need to share some of how God's divine healing. When I think about of how wonderful God is, and I think of how He allowed Daniel to he didn't keep Daniel out of the lion's den, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
protected him
You
while he was
protected
in
him.
it.
That's
So,
it.
and I think back over my life, And I often say, I said, when I think back over my life, I had to ask myself a question: was something lurking about, hidden, like a predator waiting to ambush me? And that's how I felt when I was diagnosed with this debilitating disease, multiple sclerosis, and was paralyzed in both legs and my right arm. And I
Wow.
kept thinking, multiple sclerosis, and in that name, it was in the name, multiple scarring. And
Multiple.
I said, Lord, what scars? What? And so it took me, that disease and in the name took me on a journey of discovery. And oh wow, what did God show me in the revelation of the unseen bruising of affliction in
Mm-hmm.
me? But it wasn't just for me, in the conflict within. And often I would tell individuals, like, I love the word. I love God's word, the greatest roadmap for life. And my three foundation scriptures, that Jeremiah 29:11 and
Mm-hmm.
Romans 8:28, God, Jeremiah, He knows the plans He has for us to
Not for you.
prosper us, to give us
Mm-hmm.
a hope. But all things work together for good who those that love God and call for a purpose.
A purpose.
And but both of them, they were in captivity. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, Lord, these foundation scriptures that I'm rooted in, but it tells me that even though in captivity, but then Psalms 138:8, I'm concerned about what you're concerned about. So um, when I think, I said, when I think back of all the trials and tribulations, some of the just the hurt, especially in the betrayals and relationships, and um, in all the difficulties that surrounded people, my heart just, even the narcissist, I'm like, well, they weren't born that way. They were created. So my
Mm-hmm.
heart, in their childhood, something major was missing.
Right.
And so I'm thankful for God that as I've learned to trust Him even in the horrific situations that happen, because if He allowed, because God is there's no lack and failure in Him. And it was like an understanding of, if He allowed it to happen, it was part of a greater purpose. And when the word says, call unto me and I will answer you and tell
Yeah.
you great and unsearchable things
Mm-hmm.
you do not know. And I when that was, I said, that's about me, what I don't know and what others don't know. And so God had, through all of the adverse areas in my life, God has revealed and now given the clarity and guidance and direction for me
Mm-hmm.
truly to be a bridge to help others get across to a better place in wholeness, health, here on this side of glory. And so I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I won't take back nothing the hard places, because
Right.
you know for you know ultimately my good, the good of others, and God's glory.
All right. What was meant to break you, make you.
Yeah.
All right, Brenda.
I feel like it starts with the decision to show up for the healing. And then the way that will come through is different for everyone. In my case, it was a combination of Reiki and breath work and somatic healing and inner child healing and doing that work. And so I think, for me, it was being led one at a time to different modalities that I learned. And I knew at the time that I was learning them that I needed to go on my own healing journey first before I could actually share that with others.
The only
And
way.
absolutely. And I feel like it was absolutely divine that they came in the order that they did, because if I would have started with where I ended, I think it would have been too much for me, because I didn't believe when I first started that I actually was worth it. Like we talked about, to circle back to the beginning.
Yeah.
It
Unworthy.
it took really learning and then choosing to believe that I was worth healing and continuing to show up for it.
That's it. That's it.
That's
I,
so true.
that's it. D.
For me, is to love myself, to accept it, my mistakes, and I'm human. I make mistakes, and to allow those mistakes to become the person I am today, to become a better person, a better mother, a better businesswoman. And I think my thing is to put myself out there more. I'm more just a reserved person, stay by myself. I don't do anything. I don't get to go nowhere. So now I'm open up to let myself heal, to understand around people, to feel safe, and to learn that it's okay, you're safe. And that's what I use now.
Right.
Mhm.
So I thank each and every one of you for that, because um that's why it's called unworthy, when word wasn't felt, right? So we each went through experiences, whether it's in childhood. For some of you, Dee said it was in marriage that she felt that. Each and every one of us have experienced that. For Pam, it was, when she was diagnosed. Now, what now? You understand? So what we need to understand is you got to give yourself grace. Okay? The same grace, because a lot of us give grace to other people. Give grace to yourself. All right? Forgive yourself. All right? No, you are not unworthy. You need affirmations around your house. Stick them up, whatever. I don't care if you have a wall in your car. Stick it up. Words that affirm you every day so you can get out of bed, right? So for me, it was always affirmations. That was my healing, affirmations. And I found affirmations. Say, for example, I was feeling low. The affirmation is actually a pick up from the place that I was. You know you were feeling low. You understand me? But life goes on. We can't keep letting that violent play. And we're crying and we're mellowing and we're melting away. And then you get locked into this place that you can't seem to get out of. Okay. And then the walls. Okay. The same way the walls go up to not let people in, guess what? You ain't getting out either.
Mhm.
You understand? So these are the things that we have to realize. Okay. So give yourself grace. You understand me? Give yourself grace. Learn to live. Voice. Stop apologizing for being you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Stop apologizing for being you. Just be you.
Yep.
Mhm.
Stop dumbing yourself down to fit in.
Yep.
Amen.
Just be
Mhm.
yourself. People have to either accept it, and again, if your circle have a problem with it, change the circle.
Yep.
Yep.
Hello? If
Oh,
everyone is all
amen.
gloom, I don't I
Oh my
I used to
God.
walk into these circles. I used to walk into these atmospheres around pessimistic people. That is draining.
Mhm.
That is disabling. Okay? If
Yes.
you meet someone and you know they're never gonna have something positive to say, you already know that and you program your mind. I'm not accepting that.
Mhm.
That's not who I am. Don't stop apologizing for being you. You're
Mhm.
silly. Be silly. There is
Mhm.
a whole group of silly people waiting for your
Yes.
silliness. Hello. There is someone who was waiting for you and say, "Welcome, girl. Let's be silly together."
Mhm.
You understand? So these are it. If you're a very spiritual person, but there is someone who isn't, don't waste your time. We need to find that
Mhm.
group of people that are
Mhm.
going where you want to. And also hang with the people who are already where you are, where you want to be. You're not
Yes.
there yet. Go hang out with those people who are already where you want to be.
Amen.
They
Mhm.
are always ready and willing to pour into you because they're not in competition. They're ready
Mhm.
to give back into you.
Yep.
See, I
Mhm.
give platforms for women to come and celebrate. I don't care if you have a million followings and I get my 6K now. I've been on Facebook since 2009. I used to weed through so much. And before 2017, I was still under 500 followers. Why? Because I was very still is now. But
Mhm.
if I wasn't selective, I probably would have had to need a couple of pages, which I do because I have one for Pastor Linda when I want to just pour scripture and whatnot, right? I have that page. I have the Emergent and Power page because it's about the podcast. Then I have the Florida Ultimate Woman. This is someone who had low self-esteem, walked the stage at nationals at Miss Plus America. Okay. And what am I saying is once you're healed, you feel like I'm worthy. Yes, I can do it. You've seen flyers, you've seen things. You as a chef D, there have been opportunities, I'm sure, where they are looking for people to come on and you just know it, "Mm-mm, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop going to places where everybody's going. Change your audience.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Mhm.
I
That's
need to
it.
do that.
And I used to be like this, they don't love me. They don't like me. Listen, I love me.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
once I start loving me, everyone's like, I like you. I say, no, you like me because I love me. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I have friends say, Linda, I love you. I say, please, you only love me because I love me. Because when I was in that dark place, I never heard you say you love me. I never heard you
Mm-hmm.
be open with me. You never
Mhm.
invited me to anything.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. So
Amen.
if they're not inviting you, check with that. Either that is just a competitive environment, let it go. Create your own events. Listen, I wasn't
Yes.
on people flyers. Listen, I had enough events. I started creating my own event. I have my WeWa, I have this. I create. Listen, when I start being on my own flyers, people call me to be on their flyer. Stop wanting to go to people's things. Create your own. It says that
Mhm.
you have more than enough. You are worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they didn't
Mhm.
call me, but they called so and so. That's okay.
Mhm.
You can call them. Ah, let's just flip the script here. They didn't invite me, but guess what? You can invite them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay? So that's why Psalms 23 talks about him preparing a table before who? Your
Yeah.
enemies, your naysayers. Why? Because they said, I know her. I know her. She won't amount to anything. And then when God flipped the script, right? They were like, wow, I remember back then. I can't believe it. This is you? Yes, honey, it's me. That's you? Yes, it's me. I remember when I went to a job in 2016 and I was talking about me being an author. I didn't even know I was Googleable. So the girl says, let me put in your name, and boom, anything you've ever posted, do you know it goes online? And
Mhm.
they have this of me, this picture of me. I said, oh my God, I'm Googleable. You can Google me and you can find me. So it doesn't matter who is not supporting you. Your teacher, Pam, who didn't like your story because she wanted you to write it your way. No, you created. So from a little girl, you created your script and you read your script. And you are okay if she didn't give you the grades because you know that you did your best.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes,
And guess
Nina.
what? Part of the healing was Googling my name and finding it everywhere. And I'm like,
Come on!
Yeah.
Come on!
Yes.
Come on! Can you
Mhm.
imagine that?
Yeah, it does
You
feel good. I when I Googled, I was thankful enough to go to Columbia, South Carolina, and for a women's conference to
mm-hmm,
share a talk, and it was recorded and turned into a TEDx talk.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I was just thankful that people, when you Google Pamela Hawkins aware, it shows up, and people were encouraged, inspired, and that's really what I want others to bring that they know that they are stronger than they know.
That's it.
Um,
That's
Mhm.
pretty much
yeah,
it.
that's so amazing. Yeah.
So this is what we're here for, and everybody that's watching today, this is the first segment. Stay tuned for 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going 6 weeks, 6 Tuesdays of coming back with different questions. But today we talked about unworthy when work wasn't felt. All right, we talked about when work wasn't felt, or when somebody told you that you weren't doing things like Pam said how they wanted it to do. There are people who are going to tell you, well, if it was me, I would have done it this way. Exactly. You're not me. We need to have a comeback, people. Stop trying to be what they want.
Yep.
Amen.
Okay? Me who say this now, people just say stuff. I didn't say anything. I used to just go home and cry or start crying because I wanted to express myself. Anybody was like that? I would cry because I said something and I was like crying because I expressed myself and I'm feeling bad because no, honey, no more. Healing is a beautiful place and I refuse to go back to be that woman. No. You understand? And this is what it's about. You are worthy. You're told that you're no good. Dee just said it. She was told that she's no good. She would have different baby daddies. Huh? So they already put a word curse on you. And if you allow, do you know we become these word curses? Because we hear them all the time. And well, this is what they said. No, it's time to tear down those altars, those negative altars, and put a praise and thanksgiving in their place. Put favor in their place. You understand? So that's what it's about. All right. And you're successful. You're a successful woman saying, I don't think so. You see, we each and every one of us. Now, doesn't mean there are days we don't feel low. Yeah. You allow yourself that. Take that break. Allow yourself that. Today, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay here and watch Netflix and chill. Me, overdose on African movies, which I love. I'll just stay there. I don't go anywhere. Do you watch TV? No, I don't watch TV. But when I want to watch something, I watch what I want to watch. I
Yep.
read what I want to read. This is what we need to do. Stop doing things because everyone is doing it. Once you heal, you stop doing things because everyone is doing it. Well, they're doing it. So what? Why aren't you doing it? I don't want to. It's that simple. So as we close, ladies, let us just leave a last word to our viewers today. What message that's in your heart today that you would like to just leave with our viewing audience?
Well,
Oh,
go ahead, Dee.
to be yourself, to love yourself, no matter what. Continue doing it. If you're doing something you love, put every bit of yourself in there. Fall in love with it. Don't listen to the back. They always
Come
gonna be
on.
back noise. Don't
Woo.
listen to them. So they always gonna be there. And it's up to you to know what to accept it in your life, to allow in your life. As long as you know God, you have God. God put you in this earth for a purpose. It's if you're still living there, you're not dead. It's because you still not fulfill what He sent you to do. So
Mhm.
continue to doing it. Trust yourself and accept it who you are and become whatever you want to become in the future.
That's it, girl. And I hope you go in purpose too.
Yes. Thank you.
Pour that out. Remember this. Go back and watch this clip and let it be your message every day until you get out there and do. And don't worry about it. That person wasn't there. I'm cheering you on. Pam is cheering you on. Brenda is cheering you on. Okay, Mamina is cheering you on. And this whole audience, they're cheering you on. You need a platform? Come here. We are here to cheer you on. And guess what? They're not in your immediate circle. The love is out there. Surround yourself with that love. Next person.
Well, I just want to say to everyone that's listening, you are stronger than you know. A diagnosis doesn't define you. And diagnosis could be anything negative someone spoke over you. It could be a disease or it can be a word. Your
Mm-hmm.
story isn't over. In fact, the best part may still
It's
be
yet
ahead.
to come.
Never give up. The best is yet to
Yet
come
to
because
come.
you matter. Your story is still being written. Who you are makes a difference. Your
Yes.
presence is matters more than you know. And I see in you value.
That's
Be
it.
well.
That's the woman who goes around telling people, I see value in you. All right. Next person.
My brand and my podcast is called Your Yes Filled Life. And the whole premise behind it is that we each have an opportunity and a right to claim that yes feeling for ourselves. And so the thing that I would offer is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Come on. It's one or the other. I love it. Mamina?
I just want to say, I just want to congratulate everybody who is here today. You all are emerging. You are
Yes.
there. You are seen, heard, accepted, celebrated. Come on, ladies, cheers! Smile, laugh, enjoy. You have one life. Be joyful. Be joyful. Be joyful. Even if you're drinking water, be joyful. Even if you're
Hello.
breathing, be joyful. Even if you're dancing, be joyful. Even if you're singing, be joyful. Even if you're cooking, be joyful.
That's
Yeah.
it. I love what you said, because you could have a cup. You could drink that thing like you're drinking something special, and nobody know that this water, but it's tasting good to you, and they're like, man, what are you drinking? And all you was drinking was water. Okay, get high on your own life. That's it.
I
That's
love that. Cheers to my electrolyte
Now,
water. This is
now
literally
Dr. Linda, hydration, the best water.
And just before I was on, I didn't want to put it here. I'm not doing a commercial, but I went to Flanagan's early and I had some nice wings. Okay, so I got that pink lemonade in this cup. But guess what? It's yours. It's yours. So I want to thank you, ladies, on today. I really, truly thank you. And I know some of you, like Brenda, she's already had her one-on-one on Emerge and Empower. And I know you ladies will come back and we have the one-on-one as we dive deeper into your individual stories. But this has been, everyone, the very first segment of the Shemergence Virtual Conference. And yes, it is a success! Emerge and Empower, as we have the Shemergence Virtual Conference brought to you by Dr. Lynn J. I can't wait for the next few weeks as women are coming on and just sharing, all right, into this space, having conversations with one another. And again, we have a few seats. Some of the weeks might have one seat left. So if you were still thinking about getting in, get in and grab that last seat in that particular recording. So blessings to you all and thank you. We will continue with this virtual conference. Until next week, bye.